Hi, this is Sara Levin, the Artful Inker. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and today I'm here with this Zany Zebras card in Magenta Madness. Let's set this aside and get to the creating. To start, we're going to use a piece of Fluid 100 watercolor paper, and I'm going to use it with the smoother side up. And I'm going to start by spritzing with a little bit of water, and then I've got my silicone craft sheet from Stampin' Up, and I'm just going to put on a little bit of the Magenta Madness ink and give it a good spritz. I want it moving around, and in fact I'm then going to take my water painter and kind of move that so that we've got some color variation here and we're not too deep and dark in any one place. I'm going to dip this and pull it out and then give it a blot, and then set that aside to dry. So we'll move on just as soon as this is dried. If yours is buckling or humping too much, give it a light spritz on the back with water and it will release that. Next, we're going to use the Zany Zebras stamp set and the Magenta Madness ink pad. And I've got a couple of the zebras here. I'm just going to tap on some ink. And I'm giving it a good rub and a little time to transfer. And then let's do this guy. And we're going to put him up here. Okay, and now I've got a piece of Whisper White, just a scrap, for stamping one more of the zebras. And let's move that aside, and then I've got a strip of Whisper White here, and I'm just going to line it up with my Stampin' Up! Grid paper and add some ink to my sentiment. Okay, and then let's get this ink out of the way. I'm going to use my scissors now and cut this out. So you know the drill. We're going to turn the paper and just barely move the snips. And I see where I moved the zebra aside. I smeared the ink a little bit, but by the time we finish trimming this out, that won't even make any difference. So make sure you're letting the paper do the work for you by turning. The paper, that is, not your scissors. And I'm going to cut some of this away so that I can just come up in here. And again, turning my paper. And I may cut a little more of this white away here. Okay. And then let's trim our sentiment. I want to use the word as the guide, and I'm just trimming it in closer. Okay, let me move this aside a little bit and we'll move on to the next bit. Next, I've used a couple of the isosceles triangles to cut Magenta Madness. These are from the stitched triangle dies, and now we can start and put our card together. I'm going to use the new Stampin' Seal tape runner from Stampin' Up. Let me just get this started and roll this and then break it, and roll this and break it. And the reason I'm using the tape instead of my favorite multi-purpose glue is I find it is better for a watercolored piece so that it will adhere perfectly flat. I can get closer to the edges with this type of adhesive. Okay. Next I'm going to want my Whisper White crinkled seam binding and this small triangle and some dimensionals. So let me put a regular there and a mini here, and then I'm going to use that to help me decide on the length of my piece of ribbon here. I don't need much. And let's go ahead and trim that. Give it an angle cut to keep it from fraying. And move this out of the way and grab my glue dots here. And this ribbon needs a little glue dot behind a couple of places. And need one more here, since I didn't get this, what will be this top layer, because we don't want it to be unfolding on the card. And I'm just going to tuck this under that piece. So kind of, there we go. And pull the backing off of. My fingers are being a little fumbly today. Let's move those out of the way. And we're going to take this Happy Birthday, and you may have noticed when I originally cut it, I left excess on this end, and so we're just going to give this a banner on the end and place a couple of mini dimensionals under here. Okay, and there's our sentiment. And now this guy needs to go on. Oops. Come on. There we go. Okay. And then this guy's going to get some dimensionals. And let's see if we can stick a mini down here on his foot. I just need to see whether I'm going to need to double that up. And I do need to double this bit. And let's see if there's, yeah. Now I'm going to take this one and cut it in half and place in here. Whoops. Not so that it shows. And this one in here. Okay. And now we're ready to put him down. Or her. She's pink. Him or her. Whatever makes you happy. Oops. There we go. We don't need to pull that bit of dimensional off. And it's still trying to show here, so let me turn that a little bit more. There we go. Oh, this needs a double back behind his head. There we go. Okay, so now let's add this to the rest of the card, and then we'll finish embellishing. So I've got a thick whisper white card base and a strip of the Magenta Madness cardstock. And I'm going to add this with multi-purpose glue. And let's line this up on my grid paper. And I did leave a little bit of space on either side of this strip on purpose. I like the look that it gives. And then I'm going to adhere this with dimensionals. Make sure you add enough that your layer is not going to sag when it's on the card. And then let's line this up with the grid paper, and then you're going to eyeball 3 sides and let the 4th side take care of itself. Let's put this out of the way. And let me grab my embellishments. We're going to add some of these in color enamel dots. And you may have noticed I'm going almost monochromatic here. I've added just a little bit of white. And where do we want this last? Maybe right there will do. Okay. Thanks for stopping by. This was Sara Levin, the Artful Inker of theartfulinker.com. Give this video a thumbs up and then click the subscribe button. And if you hit the bell, you'll be notified the next time I upload a video. See you later. Have a great day.